I wanted to talk to you about what the film industry is doing right now. You said they were taking more time in development and really focusing on like good writing, and since people aren't really available there, if you got the goods, you can kind of like buy or
Yeah. So, I mean, this is how I'm seeing it from a lot of perspectives, and just talking to people in the industry. I don't have to be as highly entangled as like maybe Paris or a producer or like an agent, as far as like having their awareness of like the game itself and how it's moving at all times. Because like all living things, it changes so rapidly, But as a writer and as a director, you catch wind of it. Obviously, you gotta work and figure out the industry. So. Um, from what I've caught so far and just talking to our producers on I Trust, it was like, if you went to Netflix a few months ago, they were talking about 2023. That's sort of all the meetings they were having was for stuff that was going to be released 2023 because they had a great reserve of films and content for years. And now they're running through that really fast.
Yeah.
Because of coronavirus and because of the lockdown specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And they're winning big time. Everybody's watching content, and people are even, there's another place where people are watching more content now than they were doing all of those podcasts and all those, those other mediums that they would do in their car on the way to work. Sort of those have taken an L. People are watching content at noon. And like the industry itself, what we were saying on the development end, as you can imagine, there's only really two phases of the game that are still in place: development and production. I mean, and distribution.
Yeah.
Pre-production is, kind of still playing, production is closed completely, and then post-production, I'm sure there's a few things finished in post, but more or less where new things are happening, I think is development. And the idea that I was saying was not only, like you said, Netflix is moving their reservoir up now so that you'd be playing a lot faster, and they're looking for more content to develop right now, is that before, if you were an agent or a producer or whatever, you had like, maybe multiple projects that were in different phases: development, production, etc. So you're always like moving the ball. And I think it's easier when you're in that rhythm it's harder, I would say, to read everything. It's harder to read everything that you want to read and be that ultimate due diligence, amazing, producer agent person who reads everything and just conquering, right? It's like, you only got so much time in a day. And I think it was a lot easier for people to just say, you know what, if something comes on with, The Rock, I'm just going to make that thing happen regardless of what the script looks like.
Yeah.
And now people are really having the time to read. They're having the time to read like never before. I don't think people have ever read as much as they're reading right now. And that's a plus, like we said, if you have the goods. My guess from that is that the cream will rise, that there will be certain people, producers, whoever, who finally get the time to read everything, and every once in a while come across something that they find amazing that maybe doesn't have as much of the, that doesn't have as much of the, attachments that it had on before, because they have a little bit more time to get those attachments to make those things happen. So even before coronavirus, though, we had randomly talked to the head of TV at Sony, and he was like, yo, it's a seller's market right now. If you got the goods, you're in the door, as far as content. We sent them a script or whatever. We met him in the lobby of another place, and we didn't even know who he was. It was crazy. And he was like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm head of TV at Star. It's like, oh. But he's like, it's a seller's market right now. It's a seller's market as far as scripts go. If you have the good content right now, because of the streaming wars, as everybody, whoever knows, everybody's getting into the streaming game like never before. People are pulling their content from cable and putting it on streaming platforms. So even before coronavirus, it was a new day, a green day, a fertile day in the entertainment industry as far as content was concerned. There was just way more platforms than ever, way more ways to make money, Shudder and all these little other backdoor sort of, like other alternative platforms. But even the main ones were looking for more content. Netflix just raised another $1 billion in order to buy more content. You had NBC, HBO is going to be dropping their platform, their new platform soon, HBO Max, and there's just a cacophony of content providers out there. So it was already a seller's market, and now I think it's a quality market as far as just the content of the scripts, because people are reading.